things about my adopted dad and not so great, which is probably true for everything, right? So, but here's the weird thing. Starting in my 20s, I had this feeling about turning 40. I had this like, it's gonna be big. It wasn't like, I've never been afraid of being old, although now when I look in the mirror, I'm like, oh God, you know. But not that I don't love me, but I can tell I've aged. I can. But at that point, it was like 40, something big. When you turn 40, and not that life wasn't good, you know, I met Tony and life is happening, it's awesome, but that 40 thing kept getting bigger and bigger, especially when I was in my 30s, 35, 36. And I would kind of just look at it and then look away, like, what the hell is up with that, right? And then 40 hit. And I'll never forget, I was on the coaster. I used to take the coaster to my work in Sorrento Valley. And my phone started blowing up. And it was 2 days before I was going to turn 40. And my soul was like, this is it. This is it. And I just, you know, put the phone aside and I just meditated on the train. When I got off the train, Tony finally called. It was everybody else, my mom and sister, brothers. So Tony calls and goes, you gotta call your mom. Your dad's in the hospital, he's about to die. And he passed away on my birthday. So 2 days later, when I turned 40, he passed away. 9 months later, my mom passed away. Obviously, there's sadness and all that, but you know, there was also this part of me that I felt like all my life had prepared for that. You know, I didn't know exactly. When my mom passed away, my dad passed away, I thought, oh good, I get my mom back. My brother and I were like very excited. It's not that we dislike my dad, it's just like he had all these other kids. It like changed the dynamic so much. And we're like, well, we get this time with mom. We're gonna totally help her be healthy and blah, blah. She had no interest in that. Elvin was the love of her life and she pretty much marched towards death. And there was a part of me that had to really like get over it because I felt like, once again, you're choosing him, or me. You know, I did the whole privately, not with her. And then I got it. And then what happened was she was on hospice and she died at my house. And what happened in all of this, honestly, that 40 gave me this career. And I'll tell you why. Not that it was a lot of money, but she bought my husband a new work truck. She gave me money. I took yoga training. I would have never, as a mom, I just never did that. I never spent money on me. It was always treasures cheer and treasures this, my daughter treasure. I would have never taken 2 weeks off and paid money for me. But my mom gave me the money. So I did it. And it was the opening of an entire life. And as she was passing away, you know, she was so cute. She was like, so in yoga, do they believe in Jesus too? I mean, she was a Catholic. She's worried. I'm like, yeah, Jesus is cool. He's totally there, Mom. And then, this was always the thing, because I was always the crazy one in the family, the black sheep. She said, does Tony believe? Because if Tony does, it must be okay. Thank God for Tony. My mom adored him. And he actually freaked her out the most. Like, he was one of those ones like, I'm not going to do it just because you want me to, Mary Lou. I'll do it if I want to. He'd actually say no to my mom. I remember the first couple times he did, I was like, oh, nobody fucking says no to Mary Lou. Oh my God. But it was and what did I learn from that? She loved it. She fucking loved it. She adored him. Like, look at this guy go. He's not, you know? So that's that story. And it has a lot to do with what we're going to talk about for this cold depression. Because when you look at that story, all the permission I needed to be me. Like, it had to be somebody else's money. It had to be the perfect situation. I couldn't ask for it myself. One of the biggest things with the cold depression is our lack of value for ourselves as women. And I want us to really understand, you know, I've been really reading a lot of Yogi Bhajan, listening to him and a couple other teachers, and there's this whole matrix around money. I don't know if any of you are like this, but sometimes we don't want to even look at the numbers. Spiritual people don't like numbers. Like, Like, how bad was it? I think I made money. Did I? You know? We have to look at the numbers. And I want you also to know that things like QuickBooks, although they're like great, they're also in the matrix to make you feel less than. So when you use Matrix, make sure you're using it, not it using you. And I know this to be true because when I was working at the Soul of Yoga, we had many different accountants come in. And they would go, we would think, okay, we're here, right? Because we're doing all this, the yoga therapy, Kundalini, and they would go, you suck. You're actually here. I mean, it would be so different than what we thought. I go, but wait a second, this is what we made. This is what it cost. What the fuck is going on here? I remember the last girl we had, and she was spiritual. I thought, okay, she's a spiritual CPA. We're gonna, and it was the worst we ever had. So I just want us to know there is a certain dogma with numbers and money that it's not, they want you to be confused. They want you to be confused. Confusion is the root of depression. When you feel like, you know, kind of like a dog whistle, like, that doesn't make sense. They love to keep you there. The root of depression is feeling confused. So we really have to take our power back and decide, you know, in our entrepreneurship, in our relationships, I am the end-all authority with God, period. And really be careful about who you use to advise you. And as women, trusting, if intuitively, like, you know, like, this is a good idea, do it. You got to do it, right? And sometimes you'll have people, it's like, I had a situation where this one girl, she can do all these websites, but she's just so different than me, it doesn't work. Because I'm always feeling uncomfortable. I feel like it's such a hard sell. It's like, I'm not like that. It does, but I want to make money, make no mistake. I know I can by being me. So that, you know, and money is one of the biggest things that is causing depression right now. Because we're being confused and we're being misled. Then you look at this whole thing with like that cryptic money and the Bitcoin and all that. So that came in. It was basically like society said, I don't like the regular money, so I'm going to make new money. Watch me go. And at first, like, but then corporations started buying up Bitcoin. So the big corps now have Bitcoin power. And so it's not so good now. But the fact that it happened means we as a society of goddesses and light workers and people that want to evolve, at some point are going to say, I don't agree the way money is. And in fact, I'm going to get out of it. There's Russell Brand, his first book called Revolution I Love. And I can't remember the exact name of these towns, but basically their towns operate. They only trade. I'm a lawyer, you're a doctor, I'm a teacher. They trade services. They pay the very least, like the tax for the land, what they have to for energy. That's it. They do solar panels. So Britain is like, there's 3 of them that are pretty big in Britain, and they're like, oh my God. So we are in a revolution. As we move into 2020, by the end of 2020, Saturn is going to finally go into Aquarius, which is, Saturn is the disciplinary. You know, it's the one like, it's not like it wants us to have the situation we are in. What it wants is for you to be disciplined enough to know your truth and work on it. Because when it gets you into Aquarius, because sometimes we think of the Aquarian age as kumbaya. It's not. What it is authenticity. You know, and I'm going to end with this, and we're going to do the overcoming depression. I'll be weaving that in. Our Kriya is going to be inner anger, depletion, and then